Hey everyone. In this video we're going to take a look at how to find the axis of symmetry of a parabola given in standard form, or a quadratic function given in standard form. Now the axis of symmetry is the vertical line that divides the parabola into two congruent halves. It's exactly what you do when you're finding the line of symmetry of a figure, except you're finding obviously the axis of symmetry of a graphed quadratic function. Alright, so to find the axis of symmetry from an equation in standard form, you're going to use the formula negative b over 2a. So we have our a, b, and our c labeled. We're going to be using a and b to find the axis of symmetry. Alright, so here's an example. We have y equals 3x squared plus 2x minus 3. That's a quadratic equation given in standard form. And we're going to look for the axis of symmetry. Now for your standard parabola, your axis of symmetry is going to be a vertical line, so we know that every vertical line has an equation that is x equals something. Alright, so we have negative b over 2a, we have our a and our b. I'll go ahead and label c, even though we're not going to use it. And we have negative b, so that would be negative 2 over 2 times our a, which is 3. Okay, so we have negative 2 over 6. Which would be negative 1/3. So the equation for the axis of symmetry of this specific quadratic would be x equals negative 1/3. So that would be a vertical line drawn at x equals negative 1/3. All right, let's take a look at what that looks like on a graph. Right, so here we're given a graph of a parabola, and I could use the graph to get the axis of symmetry, and then I'm going to go ahead and use that equation up there just to check and make sure that we got it. All right, so the axis of symmetry, again, is that vertical line that is drawn, all right, that, again, splits our parabola into two congruent halves. If you notice, it's also the x-coordinate of our vertex here. All right, our vertex here is 1, negative 4, and our axis of symmetry is x equals 1. All right, let's just check that with the equation. So we know it's x equals negative b over 2a. X equals, now if we have our equation, we have a, b, and c. Okay, our a is 1 and our b is negative 2, so it's going to be negative b, which is negative 2. Okay, so you have a double negative there, over 2 times a. In this case, a is 1 because you don't see it here. Okay, again, you can assume that's 1. All right, so we have a 2 on top, over 2, and we get x equals 1. So you can see here, you can just look at the parabola and see what the axis of symmetry is going to be, but if you're not sure, you could also, if you're given the equation, use that formula, negative b over 2a, to find the axis of symmetry. Alright, so that's pretty much all there is to finding the axis of symmetry of a quadratic equation given in standard form, or by looking at its parabola graph.